my name is Michael Depasquale Jr. I'm publisher and editor of Karate International magazine. What we're about to do today is show you some of the street fighting techniques that I've developed throughout my training in Yoshisuni Jujitsu, and of course using some of my system, Ninjuka Jujitsu. What we're going to do is we're going to teach you 10 techniques, probably a few more here and there, and some variations off those techniques that are going to work, that you can adapt on the street. From a knife, from a club, bear hug, so on and so forth. What primarily we're trying to do here is teach the techniques that are going to be the most suitable techniques for the street. The quickest techniques that are going to work for the street. And techniques that are going to keep you in a situation or in a position where you'll be able to work from one technique to another. No fancy show business, right to the point, techniques. We'll begin now. George, please. First technique is going to be off a simple roundhouse punch. The roundhouse punch is a very common attack on the street. For the most part, when you're in a situation on the street, whether it be a bar, whether it be on the street, whether it be in a subway station, when a person throws a roundhouse punch, the technique, or I should say the attack that he's using, is a wild attack. Normally you won't find a person that knows how to fight come up to you like this, boxing, he's taught, okay, he throws a wild roundhouse punch to hit you, to knock you out, to hurt you. Okay, or he'll grab you here and throw the roundhouse punch. One way or the other, the roundhouse punch comes in from a side angle, okay? Primarily at a 90-degree angle. So when it comes in, object here is to try to defend yourself in such a way that you're hitting the man's weak point. There's several ways to work this. The weak point primarily is when the shoulder is from here back is weak. From here to approximately here, the punch is strong at the point of impact. If it goes past beyond here, it becomes weak also. Okay, for the most part, we want to try to catch it when it's coming to you from this angle here. So when a man's winging the punch, we do what we call a dead arm block. Okay? The dead arm block is using a shuto. Okay, knife hand strike to the forearm, which is the radial nerve, crossing the radial nerve, or to the bicep, one or the other, depending upon how quick the man's coming in and how fast you're moving toward him. What we're trying to do here, though, is not stop and strike here or strike here, which is effective, because you can block and strike. My opinion is this hand's coming normally, right after the other hand. So when a man's throwing a roundhouse punch, what we want to try to do is catch the first roundhouse punch at its weak point and move into a position that we can obviously defend ourselves in. So if he comes in, we're coming in like so. The same time we block, what we're doing here is we're sliding across the arm, causing pain to the arm, and causing numbness to the arm because we're hitting the radial nerve. We're sliding across the radial nerve, running all the way around to the other side of the arm and locking. So when the man comes in slow, we're going to block like so. As we block like so, we're going to slide. As we slide, this is coming up. Now notice, there's a break here. We don't stop here, we strike in here. So what I'm doing is teaching each particular technique step by step. So a little harder now. 1, 2, 3. Now we're coming to the throat. Throat angle here, you can strike to the throat. To vary the motion, whatever you want for yourself to make it comfortable, we can strike to the face, strike to the throat, strike to the eyes, elbow. Now, in this situation, we want to get rid of the man. We don't want to carry him. If we have to, we can step behind. Okay, just break the arm in here, tearing the rotator cuff, which is in the shoulder. Very, very painful. Or if we're already behind him, which is most comfortable for me, you're blocking in here, and you're coming in with what we call sotogari. It's a judo throw, but it's a street varied judo throw. So we're coming in from here, lifting up our body. Of course, we have the break in place. As we sweep, we now have a break still here. Now, when we throw the man, you'll break the arm at the same time, if you so desire. If not, you're just causing pressure here. Pressure point, finger, underneath chin bone. Okay? The nerve right underneath the chin bone or to the larynx, leaning on the larynx. Okay, this is technique number 1, street technique number 1. one of my favorites. Come on up, George. One more time, real fast. Ready? And we lock. Notice, though, the weight, his body weight is bringing me down, nice and comfortable for me. I'm in a position where I don't have to worry about this man. I have everything open here. Okay? Variation off of that real quick. We explain a few variations from here, striking, breaking here, striking here. Another variation you have, if you end up in front of the man, you get stuck, don't bother trying to get to the side. Hook this leg in here, uchigari. From here, same thing, except we're in front. Just in case we get stifled here. We can still hook the arm here, but we're in front of the man. We don't want to go to the side too much. Then we're off balance, and he has an opportunity to sweep my leg as well from here. We don't want to give him an opportunity. We're just come in here and hook it in here. Or from this position here, again, variation. Grab in here, strike in here, or strike behind the neck here, which is a variation. Boom. Grabbing in here, finger, locking to the carotid artery, and striking up here. That's your variations for technique number one. Second technique, we'll use double roundhouse punch. What we're going to try to do is break it down for what's suitable for us on the street. In street technique, you have to understand one thing. For the most part, people that fight on the street, when they fight, they're wild. Their strikes come wild. Their knife attacks come wild. Okay, unless he's a professional fighter. He knows how to attack. If he's with a knife, the blade of the knife will be up. He'll cover his body, one hand out, and the knife over here. So he has to get to the knife, get through this hand to get to the knife first. Okay? Very, very difficult for this man to do. If I have the knife in here. If I have the knife here, this man doesn't know how to use the weapon too well. Very easy to take away. Well, let's go to the roundhouse punch, not get off the track. Double roundhouse punch. What we want to do is we want to come in close to the man. We never want to try to step back. We see a lot of this. Here, ha, ha, ha. Okay, no good. What you want to do, especially in Jujitsu, when it comes to real street fighting Jujitsu technique, is you want to get close range, so that you have a target area that's open here, no matter what target area you're going to use. Eyes, nose, throat, groin, chest. And there are pressure points that I teach that are very, very important, which I will show on the tape now, but very difficult for you to learn unless we really zoom in on them. The first technique and the most effective technique, the technique we're going to teach for the street, okay, is double roundhouse punch, grabbing one arm here. At the same time, after we block, grabbing one arm here and striking here. Okay? From this position here, we're hooking the leg. As we hook the leg, we just push the man down. So what the technique is one of my favorite. Why? Because it's quick. Not only that, you're getting rid of the man so that you can secure yourself if there is any other attacker around you. And the key, people, is to understand that your sight should be set on what is around you as well. If you have one attacker here, there might very well be another attacker somewhere in the area, behind you, whatever. So once we get rid of this man, we have time to breathe. But we also want to hurt him enough so he's going to stay down. Or we could use him as a shield, which I'll demonstrate a few techniques that we can also use him as a shield. But this technique here is 1-2. Notice something, people. I'm not letting them get too close to my head here. I'm not blocking here. I cannot stand when I see people blocking in here, okay? Because the man just keeps on coming. What you got to do is stifle him here so he's open. As soon as he's open here, then you're in here. From this position here, now the groin's right here. Groin's right here. George, please. So, once again, slow pace. I repeat what I teach. Why? Because what I'm trying to do here is instruct just like I would instruct in a class. Make you understand every little detail so that you can understand this when you look at the video. 1, 2. We're not coming too close to the head. We're trying to get past we don't want my elbow bent here. Because what happens is George is a strong guy. He'll push me right over. We want to try to get like a spring. Dead arm block. Shuto technique. Shuto block. Make the block like a strike. So 1, 2, 3. We just, from here, grab here. You can grab it anywhere you want. You can even use both hands. Both hands here. Dual strike, which is from my dual strikes in here. But we normally want to pull this arm out. If we can get a hold of the arm, boom, here, or in here. And then throw the man hooking the leg and pushing back. So one more time real quick. 1. George, please. I always help my attacker up if we got to secure him. Okay. Next one. Off of this attack. Same as number 2. Off the attack. 1, 2. Okay? If we have any trouble here, pressure point. We're on the street. We need to get rid of this man. We need to cause pain. We need him to drop everything he has. Finger, thumb goes to the carotid artery. Right into the carotid artery, top of the head. The reason why I use the top of the head because the head's top heavy. As soon as we come in, causing pain here. That's number 1. Number 2 is double block 1, 2, behind the head. Finger coming to the larynx, thumb. We call it tracking right up. People go looking like this. Very easily done if you know what you're doing. That's all you need. The man will gasp for air, and he'll drop everything at that point. Pressure points, one thing about pressure points on the street, it's just like when you're swimming and you lose your breath, you're looking for the surface, and you panic. You're going to panic enough where you're going to end up swallowing a nice gulp of water, and after you swallow that first gulp of water, the second one comes in, that's it for you, because you panic. People panic when they lose their breath. People panic when they have a pressure point attacking, when the man's attacking the pressure point or the carotid artery. Why? Because the blood to the brain is being stopped. So it's not getting oxygen. So the brain immediately reacts just like a computer, shuts down. You must make the man shut down at that point. People get very, very, their body's going into shock when they're attacked in these areas here, eyes, okay? Because the nervous system in the head area, the throat area, is very complex. When you're attacking nerves, the body just reacts in such a way that it immediately shuts the body down because the brain is transferring, okay, thought pattern to those areas and say, uh-oh, I can't breathe. Uh-oh, I can't think because I'm not getting oxygen to my brain. So these are areas as off the double roundhouse punch, 1, 2, in here, okay, from here. Now, of course, off the double roundhouse punch, if we have any trouble at all, we can come out from here. If the man's really close to us and we end up keeping him close, we lock right in here. Just fist here, break the elbows. Striking here. So all I'm doing is I'm just making fist, boom, and I'm snapping his elbows. Okay? Now, of course, we also have one technique, 1, 2, in, cross, locking in here, breaking the arm. A real traditional jiu-jitsu type technique. And of course, last but not least, I throw the man. Can I try from the other side so they can see, George, please? In. Now I have an arm bar here. Notice here. Okay, notice here. Straight in here. Okay, let's go to the next one. That's number 2. Number 3, we're going to work off chokes. Why? Because chokes, again, very common on the street. Man comes in, especially if you're a woman, and he chokes you. Key on a choke when you're defending yourself is to not panic. Once you panic, that's it. You have about 3 to 5 seconds to react. And if you panic, it cuts you down to 2 seconds, and you're out cold. As the man chokes, the key is to hit the vulnerable areas of the body. I like to be able to strike the groin, okay, diaphragm area, throat area, face area. But primarily when a man comes in with a choke, all you do is strike into the diaphragm, loosen the man up. First thing we do is loosen him up. Second technique, people, is grabbing to the wrist, which is a konoho gaesh technique. Okay, you have a koto gaesh, which is this from here to here. You have your konoho gaesh, which is here. You have your gakun, here or here. What we're doing is we're striking, boom, loosen the man up that 1 second that his mind is off the choke. We're grabbing here and keeping the man here. We're locking. As we lock, we don't need to go anywhere with this. All we need to do is break. We don't want to get fancy. You can do all the throwing in the world. If I wanted to from this position here, boom, boom. I can roll from this position here, come from this position here, switch hands from here. I can throw them from here. There's a million things I can do to make it look fancy, make it look good. Now, I'm not talking about making it look fancy or making it look good. I'm talking about what's effective for the street. That's why they're street fighting techniques. You can make it look good. Person on the street is not going to do what George just did. You see a lot of this in Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, people getting thrown around, boom, boom, boom. But on the street, mind you, the man's not going to be flying around. The minute you twist his wrist, you're going to break it because he doesn't know how to take ukemi, falling technique. So let's keep that in mind. So let's stick with techniques that are going to be appropriate for what we're looking for on the street. 1, 2, 3, wham, bam, boom, down. We don't want to worry about spinning around and doing fancy technique. So as he chokes, 1, 2, 3, and break. That's it. You don't need anything else. The man's that strong where he can't break the arm, where he can't bend his arm, he's that big. Or say if you're 100 pounds lighter, you're a lady and the man's strong, he starts to come back up. All we do is apply this technique here. Down again, George, I'm sorry. Apply it as he comes up. They call this shibori. All you do is twist this here, you'll break the arm. You'll break the arm approximately 3 places here. If you line up the arm straight up and down, radial ulnar bone, like this, I'll break the arm at 7 places. Why? Because the radial ulnar bone line up with each other, and you'll break it straight down the line. If you know how to get into this position, which is the gakun position, lining it up. Okay, so as he comes in with a choke, 1, 2, we have this technique. One of my favorite street fighting techniques because it's quick, effective, and easy. Next one, he comes in with a choke. From this position here, I like striking to the throat area. As I strike to the throat area, from this position here, again, I like to hook the leg, okay, and throw the man. So as he chokes, in, strike, straight down. Man comes in with another choke from this position here. I like to block from here, lock it up in here. All I do is use my body. Now I can spin if I want from here. Throw the man. I still have a gakun here on the ground. One more. As the man comes in with a choke, from this position here, cross arm. All you do is you're crossing his arm from here. As you cross his arm from here, you're taking the man's arm, breaking it up. Just bring your whole body up, underneath. As I cross, I pull this down, snap the arm. Quick and effective. Not only that, there's another attacker. I can follow him and break his arm, get rid of him. Next technique, please, if you get a knife, George. Okay. This knife techniques. Off the knife technique. Man's coming in, right foot back, please, George. He's attacking. Straight lunging knife attack. Now, there's many different ways to attack. The most common is slashing, lunging, over the head, which is not a real smart way to attack, but some attackers do attack that way, where they come over the head here. You'll see it in the movies a lot. Ah! Okay, like Psycho. On the street, the man who knows how to use a knife very rarely will come down. Why? Because a knife, we have a fake knife here, but the real knife, okay, when you slice up. Why do you slice up? Because the weight of a man's body is a downward weight. It's like cutting a chicken open. When you're cutting a chicken open, the breast, you cut upward. You can't cut down, it's impossible. Very hard to cut this way. That's just the way the weight of the body is and the way the bone structure is. When you cut up, okay, it's very simple. The knife normally go right through you. Any kind of weight here especially. That's why when you see a man with a knife, he normally carries the knife, the blade of the knife up when he's attacking. Why? Because it's easy to use. Okay, when it's down, it's not as easy to use. You got to turn the blade up and come up from here. So when it's up, it's simple, 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 simple here. So the blade of the knife normally is up. When the man carries it up and he's attacking you like so, then you're in danger. And he knows how to use a weapon. That's when you always use, just to give you an idea, stay away from the man as best you can. Your arms, use the feet. Remember what I told you though, blade of the knife. When a man's blade is up, he knows what he's using. He knows how to use the weapon. When the blade of the knife is down, he doesn't understand how to use the weapon. And once again, same principle. You cut a chicken, you don't cut a chicken downward on the breast. You cut a chicken upward on the breast. It's the only way you can cut a chicken open. Same thing with a human being. Okay, so when a man's using a knife, understand one thing. This is probably the most effective way to use a knife. So when a man's attacking, the blade of the knife will be up. So you have this attack, you have the lunging attack, you have the upward attack, you have this kind of attack sticking here, which is very, very common here. Of course, you have your slashes here. So we're going to go, not demonstrate all of them. I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite. The first one is the lunging. As you lunge, people, what I like to do, and the way I like to teach it, is you have a target area. And you are the target area. You're aiming, that man is aiming for your target. You're giving the man the target area. What you're doing is you only have to move 3 to 4 inches at the very most to avoid this weapon. Problem with a lot of people is they do this. They come in here, they kick, they punch, boom, 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 with a knife. You never, ever, ever put distance between you and the knife. Okay, the knife is your attack, your attacker. The man that's using it is obviously the attacker also, but the knife is what's going to kill you. Okay, not necessarily the man. The man is just the vehicle that's wielding the knife. As the man comes in, we're going to step to the side. As we step to the side, we do not block. You'll see a lot of blocking, a lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of grabbing. Okay, go ahead, pick it up. What you want to do, people, is when the man comes in, is not let the man feel that you're even there. We call it tsugiyashi motion, which is a step and a glide, not a step and a slide, because on the street you can't slide. People say, oh, they do this here, they do a lot of sliding here, slide there. They teach a lot of tsugiyashi motion. They teach a lot of kata form where they slide. On the street, you try to slide on concrete, you slide on grass, you slide on anything. You're not going to move that well. When a man comes in, you got to step and glide. So as we're moving here, we're just coming here. One hand's coming underneath the elbow, one hand's coming above the wrist. Again, understand the principle here, the concept behind this. Man threatens you with a weapon, he attacks, he lunges forward. No matter what kind of lunge it is. Normally when he feels that he's not striking in the area that he's aiming for, he pulls back on the weapon. So what he's doing here is he's securing himself. So he comes out, he's not going to hold his arm out, he's going to come back with the weapon. So as George, he comes back, we move with him. Simple concept in Jiu-Jitsu is never to fight a man's strength. Now, of course, we could break here, but a lot of times you won't have time to break even, unless the man leaves his arm out there for a couple seconds. He normally is going to be bringing the weapon back because after he sees that he's missed his target area, he's moving quick. Your objective is to be able to follow him. It's kind of like a seesaw principle. Okay, the weight of a seesaw: up, down, up, down, up, down. What you're trying to do is keep an even weight distribution. What you're trying to do here is keep movement very simple. So his movement is a positive into a negative movement. So what's happening here is he's moving forward. One, as he comes back, you're going to move with him. As you move with him, you're just taking the wrist, which is very weak, and using a gakun, coming right into him. Now, if you can't get the gakun to the stomach here, we're just locking here, grabbing here. This is very, very painful. This man has no weapon right now. Okay? George is holding on to it with 2 fingers. If I really snap the hand down, he'll drop the weapon. Of course, we have this. This is a great break. This happens to be a great shielding technique, where you get a man like this. There's another man there. He's yours, this guy. Try something, George. It's impossible. Once you separate the head with this arm, this guy has no power in his upper body at all. None. Of course, we have this here, which is using pressure point to the larynx. So, slow motion again. 1. As he comes back, 2. So we're going to move back with him. Boom. So even if the knife drops before it hits him, we still have him in a position where he's mine. Now we come from here and here. So a little faster, George. Ready? In. In. Now make sure this elbow doesn't pop up. Keep it tucked under here. Lock it in here. Lock it in here. That's one of my favorite. Why? Because I like it as a shielding device. Not only that, the man lunges, he'll come out of nowhere. And the key is he comes out of nowhere, get out of the way. That's the key. This is not the key here. 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 Hard blocking. Of course, variations off that, which would be off our Yoshitsune kata, number 4, will be as the man comes in, okay, to grab with this hand. Okay, no, we're not grabbing now. Mind you, I'm just laying my hand here. Once again, the concept is don't use strength against strength. Okay? The key is let him use his strength to help you. So once he's attacking, lunging in, all we need to do is, here, take the risk. It's like saying, here, okay, stab me here. Take the risk. Now we have this hand here and a straight in. If I want to get rid of him real quick, And I'm in here, hey, I just take it. Now I have it in this, I have a lock in here, knife in here. I have a lock in here, knee down here. He's mine. From here I can come up, strike in here, anywhere I want. But it's got to be quick. As soon as you get a hold of the wrist, and normally in most cases, you would want to do it quick. One more time, hey, in. I'm here. Why? Because I'm looking. This guy's gone now. Break his arm, you have the knife, who else is coming? That's the key. The key here is to understand that when you have the weapon in your hand, when you have this man at a disadvantage, use them. Don't play with them. It's a problem with everybody. They play too much. Okay, especially in the Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of the Jiu-Jitsu motions, people think they have to play. Boom, boom, switch around, do this, do that, do this. It's good for learning purposes. It's good to go from one technique to another. Grab, finger locks, this, that. Once you have something that's firm, especially when a man has a weapon in his hand, stick with it. Don't try to get fancy. You can get fancy in the dojo, but you cannot get fancy in the street. Okay, next technique. We're showing, that was the first one off of lunging, which is, I think, number 4. Number 5, okay, is a knife technique over the head. As a man comes in over the head, which is very common, what we don't want to do is we don't want to stand in front and try to block. We're open. What we want to try to do is get to the corner. If he cuts us, he's cutting our arms. The key, people, when it comes to a knife attack, is watch your area. This area from here to here, especially from here to here, because these are your vital organs in here. Your legs, you can get cut. Okay, for the most part, even slice in your face, okay, which we don't want to do, but will not kill you as quickly as getting cut anywhere around the heart area, liver area, spleen area, any one of the areas in here, kidney, kill you quite quickly. Okay, not only that, once you do get hit in the vital areas here, you're going to be immobilized real quick. You won't be able to move. Whereas you get cut in the face, you get cut in the leg, you get cut in the arm, certain parts of your hand might not be able to move. You get cut in certain areas of the muscle. But you can still move. You can still get around. Your leg takes quite a bit for you to stop moving on your legs. Okay, but the key, people, is not to give the man an open, direct target when he's coming in with a knife. Okay, play possum. He's in this position here, we're coming from here. Knife now is here. If it does drop or it does fall, if he loses the weapon by the weight of the weapon or my block, it's just going to fall here. If I were to block in here and he loses the weapon, it's going to come right down on top of me, which I don't want that either with a heavy weapon, a heavy knife. And knives are quite heavy. So as he comes in, get to the side. From this position here, we're going to strike him with the elbow here, immobilizing the man a bit, knocking the wind down to the rib cage area, floating rib area, anywhere in the rib area. So as we strike in here, we're once again going to come in, lock in here. Get the arm out. Once we lock in here, normally the knife will come down, block in here, and we can drop the man straight down. So the technique, again, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, or 5 in here. Okay? And we can bring the man straight down, bam, break his back if we have to. So a little faster, George, please. Ready? And if you slip by chance, and everybody will make mistakes, stay close to the man, because you'll always maintain. If you slip on any technique, you do close range, you normally have a real quick option. Okay, when you're a distance away from the man, at any distance, you normally can't control the man that easily. Here you can. Notice I slipped a little bit with the hand. It's okay. I still found the hand. I slipped off it, but I'm still here, because why? As he came down, I lost the hand. It's still tucked. So it's right here, 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 just straight down. This is what's going to kill the man. Break the arm here. Wrists, very important, because once a man loses the wrist strength or you break his wrist, he can't do anything. It's impossible. Another one off, the variation off of here is straight from here to the groin. Now from this position here, all we're doing is taking the arm from here and breaking here. Keeping the hand, if you notice, here. See that, George? So if we have trouble with a man here and he's big like George is, bam! I break in here and I just bring the arm down. Now normally what I want to do here is get my hand out of here and break in here. Just sit on it. Another variation off that. Street technique. Very common, very simple, very effective. Last one we're going to show you. We'll show you one lunging. Show you one over the head. We'll show you one more. This one's an upward lunge, which is probably most common. attack. Several ways to defend yourself against an upward lunge. A key, again, people, is not to stand there and do this. You're not standing here. You see a lot of this. I see a lot of this when I see people training. They get in front, they block here, they block here. Once again, people, get to the side. You can block like this. You can block like this. You can block like this. You can block with a shuto here. And have maintain. You do not want to stay head to head with a guy. I don't care how good you are. So as this man comes up, we're going to get to the side. So if he cuts anything, he's either going to come up or slice the leg before he slices anything. And normally if we have a good hard block here, which is straight down in this hand here, his hand will open. Because again, we're attacking the nerve here, radial nerve, which controls hand movement. So as he comes down here, we're going to trap the hand here. As we trap it from this position here, we're going to come right from here. When we get to this point here, we're using the break I showed you before, which is radial ulnar bone lining up here, and you're snapping and breaking the arm in 7 different areas. As we apply pressure here, we want to get rid of the man. We see somebody else coming, we just kick this out, hang on to this. Now we have the weapon here. We still have a break here. Okay? This is technique number one of my favorite, because it's a real controlled technique. The technique you're using here happens to be a real controlled technique. So as he comes in here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and these techniques also have the good uke when you're training, because Yuki has to know where to go. You'll snap his wrist if you're hanging on to it. Always remember when you're training with one another and you're doing this type of motion here. You're blocking here, and you're coming here, and you're locking here. Watch. Don't go cranking the guy down when you break his wrist. Don't go cranking it down here. Okay, which is just a variation off this. You have trouble with a guy who's too big, all of a sudden you get to this point, he's still fighting you. Turn. So all you got to do is turn. Take the weapon away. Cut here, or just apply pressure here, lean on the elbow. And it's just like a stick shift on a car. Vroom, okay? A little joke in there, but actually it's not a joke. But in that position here, it does become that much controlled. Next one is a very tough one, but if you play it right, okay, very simple. As the man comes under, get out of the way. All you're doing is let him come up with you. So as you're getting out of the way and you let him come up with you, here, now I have a lock in here, which is a Gakun lock here. Once again, a very important wrist lock. If I need to, if he has the hand in here, and I can grab the thumb, or I can grab the fingers, I can bring him straight down, finger locking. A favorite of Sensei Wally J's finger locking technique. Well, finger locking technique is very, very important, because if you run into trouble here, boom, and all of a sudden I get a thumb here, and the guy's real strong, and I can't get his wrist here, grab the thumb. Here. Just take his thumb down, don't go anywhere. Turn him over, thumb down, thumb. Finger is very important, which is very good in Nike Jujitsu, using any kind of fingers. All you need is this. Instead of using the wrist, George's got big wrists. I can't get his wrist, I'm too small for him. I go to his fingers. Just squeeze his fingers straight in, grab his thumb, which is last resort. Thumb is very effective. Why? Because thumb controls a lot of the hand movement. Very weak. Okay, ready? So, we have 3 different knife attacks, variations. Also, this one here, which is coming to the side, the variation off, or I shouldn't say variation, it is another one of the techniques, okay, off this, which is number 4, actually. Coming in here, locking. You run into any trouble? Thumb. Just grab the thumb. You run into any trouble here, halfway there? Break. All you need is break. Do not, I say it again, do not get fancy. You do not need to get fancy to be effective in street self-defense techniques. So we have it. One more time with that one there. When you use this particular technique, people, from this position here, comes in, quick. Bring him down here. See my elbow, my knee here? Snap it. Don't worry about it. Here's the knife, he's attacking you, break his arm. Got no way to go with the guy. And this particular technique, if George doesn't go like that, just so you know, on the street, normally the guy will end up right here. If you start yanking it or you start cranking it here, if I get it over the head, and he doesn't know where to go, you're going to break it. But you just stand up here. He'll drop the weapon. Goes to grab me, break the arm. Goes to grab me, spin. You don't need to go throwing the guy around, flying in the air. That's basically 4 Let me explain something with the uke playing an important part. What you see in the movies, what you see in demonstrations, what you see in training is a good uke, a man who's given the man who's a defender, Tori, a chance to learn his movement. And why is he giving him a chance? Because he's taking the fall. He's saying, okay, I'm going to let you use my arm, let you use my wrist, I'll fall for you. Okay, no one understands that. You see this, it looks pretty. On the street, a guy's not going to give you his body to fall for you. Wherever you may end up with that arm or wrist or elbow is where you're going to end up. Primarily, for the most part, there's not going to be much of a fall. You'll break the arm before the guy falls because he's not used to spinning that quickly. He can't get over that quick to save his arm or save his wrist. So ukemi, which is falling technique, primarily is for learning purposes. Okay, if I grab George, he throws a roundhouse punch. Boom. Which incidentally brings me to the roundhouse punch again. One of my favorite techniques for roundhouse punch is to just let the man go this way. Now on the street, I'd strike the guy, or I'd strike the guy here and I come around. Okay, if I had to come back, I come back. But for training purposes, if you get the guy off balance and he's moving like this real hard, okay, what I want to do is spin with him. Now I have here, 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 okay? So what I'm doing is, George's a good uke, so he can fall like that. On the street, a guy goes over like that, he's going to break every bone in his body just about. Because he's going to look for the ground when he's falling over. He's going to go with his elbow. He's going to go with his hand like this, looking. He can't fall like that. So he's going to hurt himself. Here, as the man goes in, he falls real nice. Because he knows what he's doing. Understand? Okay. Just like a class. That's how we're teaching it, just like a class. No punches pulled. We want you to learn that these techniques and what we're trying to teach here is street self-defense. If you would grab a club, next to a club, we have roundhouse punches. Showed. We have a club attack, okay, which we're showing now. We have the knife attacks. We have, actually we'll call it 3 knife attacks. I'll give you techniques here and there and there. We have I think two choke techniques, single roundhouse punch, double roundhouse punch. So, so this is number 8. If I'm correct. If I'm wrong, then you're getting some added material in there. Man comes in with, and these are techniques that I favor. I've always taught them in my class. I've always varied them. I've probably broken down these techniques and showed maybe 8 to 10 different techniques from these particular attacks and defenses that I'm showing you here. So I'm giving you a little variation, but there's a lot more to it. The only way you can really learn is to come to classes or go to classes that an instructor is going to be able to work with you on not particularly these particular techniques, but any techniques that you learn, and just keep on branching off. That's the key to self-defense, martial art, is to not just think that there's one system, but from that system there's many different, it's like a tree. There's many different branches on a tree. It keeps on growing. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. There's always room for growth. Same thing here. You never ever think that the tree only grows to a certain size and then dies. You keep on growing, and hopefully no one's going to cut you down. The key is, people, to stay healthy, to understand what you're doing, and to expand. And this is what we're doing, just expanding off of techniques that happen to be my favorite street fighting techniques. Man comes in with a club. Once again, people, a lot of people here, they're in here, they're blocking here, they're always afraid of what's coming. The key, people, is be loose. Okay, as a man comes in with the club, what we're doing is moving. Get the club out of the way. What we're doing again is moving. Get the club out of the way. What we're doing is moving. Get the club out of the way, no matter what position he's in. So what we want to do is we want to come off the club technique and catch, like in Yoshitsune Kata, okay? Number 11. Man's coming in with a club attack, same defense. As we come in here, we grab here, and we just let the man come down. As he comes down, we're hanging on to this, striking. Now, on our kata, we come up for purposes of learning. We come around, we swim, we lock in here, which is on Sensei Depasquale Sr.'s tapes. And then we lock here, okay? But what we're going to do here is, on the street, you don't want, the reason why kata is formulated is so they can teach you total control. They teach you the total technique. kata's not meant to be for the street. Okay, some katas are acceptable for the street, but you have to normally adapt a kata for street technique. So we're going to adapt basically this particular kata. As he comes in, which is one of my favorite because it's simple. As the man comes in, target area here, we're just going to catch high. Okay, catch the man here so we don't lose him. Now there's options here. If we are real strong, the guy starts to come back with the club. Again, we lock in here. We have a lock, tuck it in. We're back to where we are. Never fight the man. We never want to see this. As the man comes back, which I see too much of. Let the man come back. Just move with him. Boom. Let him come back. Okay, lock it. What we want to do here, though, is catch. This is the ultimate technique. Strike. As we strike in here, bring this hand to you. Sneak it out. Now we're locking in here, stretching the man. Come behind the man from here and just throw him away. Notice the club. At that point, it's so loose that the man lets go of the club. If we can maintain control and he's still holding the club, normally we can break it away when we get down to the ground. We're going to take him to the ground. Or when we break it this way. For the most part, the club will be released at that point. So when we're coming in, 1, 2, break in here. Just come out with the arm. And normally break it right from here. The club will immediately come out. Okay? We're coming in from here, behind the man, locking. And once again, we can come down to the knee if we want. Still have a break in here, incidentally. Or we can just throw him away from a seated position like he's on a park bench. Okay? So, one time fast. Hey, in, in here. Bam. Okay? Thank you. Club attack to the side of the head, which I think is number 8 or 9. I said 10 techniques, but probably give you a few more than 10. As the man comes in with a club attack, what you're doing here, people, as he comes in with the club attack, locking from here. As you block from here, 1, 2, stifle. Notice the stifle George here. 3, strike, 4, in. Notice his head is on my knee, causing pressure here behind the neck. Notice I have a lock in here. Again, effective, straight to the point. Not throwing the guy away. I don't believe in throwing the guy away when the guy has a weapon. Street fighting technique. Whether it's a punch, whether it's a club, whether it's a knife, doesn't matter what it is, if the guy's coming at you, you want to try to maintain control so that you can hurt him right where you are. Don't throw him away, unless you have to throw him away. So as he comes in here, 1, 2, 3, lock, which is your Jujitsu technique using a gakun here. Now if I want to break, I can break here. If I want to get rid of him, I just push him this way and throw him away. So one time fast. Hey, here. You all right, George? Okay, put your club down, please. Of course, we have many other club techniques, but these are my favorite techniques. Now, favorite technique from bear hug. We're going to go into weapons and bear hug. I'll show you 3 more techniques. Man comes in, bear hug from this position here. As you come with a bear hug from this position here, what you want to do is come to the, can you come this way, George? Show it this way. As the man's coming with a bear hug from here, the man coming from the front, we're going to kick, whatever. There's 2 attackers. What we want to do here is get breathing room. So we can breathe. Just rotate your arms. As you rotate, you're going to step, like you're doing a dance. Done. Okay? You can do this way. What we want to do is come 1, 2. Okay? From here, this is a Yoshitsune kata as well, but it's one of my favorite techniques when it comes to the street, if a guy grabs you in a bear hug. And then from this position here, we just throw. And notice you can't sit on the man if he hangs on here. Okay? Let's try it again. And once again, people, may I explain? It's not fancy. I'm not making this tape. It's not supposed to be for the sake of being fancy and showing off. It's the making of this tape is so that you people can understand what I believe will work best for you in these particular, or I should say, against these particular attacks. And of course, you're going to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. It's not the movies. The movies take, again, You can do 5 takes, 10 takes, till you get it perfect. On the street, you can't afford to do that. So even what I just did there where I landed on the man, doesn't matter. He held on, you land on top of him. That's still effective. I'm still getting rid of him. Remember one thing, man on the street doesn't have to fall like George. Okay? And for the most part, he hangs on, I want to land on top of him. So one more time from this position here. Normally, on the street, boom, this will make the man let go completely anyhow. Okay? Now the option you have here, people, as you come in here, is grab the groin. Okay? Or if we're in this position here, you run into trouble, you grab the groin, you can just turn from here, striking in here, throwing the man back. But for the most part, what we're doing here is sitting the man down in the lap and just getting rid of him. Okay? If he does hang on, say you didn't get the groin strike off, don't worry about it, go with him. So one more time fast, George. In. From here. Now, bam, we have a kick in here. Strike in here, pressure point here. And then we want to go with the man. Bear hug from the front. We do 2 bear hugs, one from behind, one from the front. Man comes in with from the front, which is very common for ladies, especially when they're picking you up. Do not panic because the man cannot do anything from this position here to hurt you. You can do everything to him. Strike, in, okay? Strike in here. It's above the arms, you have everything in here. Strike, 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 hook. Well, from this position, a little less able to use techniques that you can really apply pressure points to and effectively throw the man. From here, you've got to use your legs. In here, kick with the heel to the knee. Strike here, hang on to him, don't let him go. Bam, bam. He'll let go of the arms eventually. Then you can hook, get out, and use the defense you have here. For the most part, when he's coming in here, though, strike in. Strike in here, okay? Hook the leg and just shrug. That's what you got to do. Very effective. Garrote, please. Now we have a garrote, okay? Man comes in with a garrote. From this position here, he's choking you hard. Now if you have a piece of piano wire, fine piano wire, your chances against this particular type of attack are going to be slim. You got to react fast. That's why the minute you see something coming around your throat or you feel it, try to get your hand up. At the same time, you're striking here. Can we show from the front? From this position here, strike here, in here. Now from this position here, tie a toshi. We're taking the man here, throw him over. Where you get the garrote. George. Sure. Once again, man throws the garrote around your neck. From here. In, strike, in here. Variations. You run into trouble here, you're struggling here, grab the head, even though you're getting choked. Okay? Bam. Okay, or bam. You've got to use your head. Think quick. But the key, people, is the minute this comes in, man's target area here is open. He's too occupied up here choking me. I'm giving myself at the most 3 to 5 seconds before I need to do something. And this is the key. Grab here, strike here. Once I strike in here, I can come around here. I can use a little bit of the hip. This will weaken the man. The strike just weakens the man. Then he's yours. Very, very important. So, the variations, I'll give a couple more variations off of it as he comes in. He's in this position here. 1. You can come from this position here. As you come in here, grab, strike, or from this position here. Strike in here or strike in here. Now, people, we have pressure points. When the guy chokes, he's still choking me here. Hey, here! Even though he's choking me, I want to get right on top of him because he's going to lose his grip real quick when I attack this area here. Don't try to turn because you choke yourself. It's a half turn. We don't want to turn all the way. But the key technique is a hip. Have you strike 1, 2, 3, here! Now we have him. He's ours. Very important. Okay. I'd about wrap it up, but I want to show you some real quick one technique that I'm touchy with. I'm just going to show you one technique that I believe will work. And again, it's the gun techniques, street techniques. Man with a gun. If the man has a gun, and it's been known fact that if a man has a gun and he's pulling the gun out, at this distance, you can defend yourself pretty quickly. If a man already has the gun out and he's at this distance here with his hand open here, you're in trouble. Because you don't want to play with this guy. You want to give him anything you have. Don't be stupid about it. You're on the street. You're not the greatest martial artist in the world. You're not Steven Seagal. You're not Jean-Claude Van Damme. You're not doing the movie business here. Okay? What you're doing is you're saving your life. Hopefully. If the man decides he doesn't want to shoot you, he won't shoot you. If he decides he's going to shoot you, he will shoot you. The key, people, is to make sure that when this man is in this position here, okay, you don't make any false moves. If the man has the gun in here, it's a different story. Then you have a chance to take this weapon away effectively. And not only that, the man who puts a gun here does not know how to use this gun. The man who knows how to use the gun keeps his distance with the gun. Or he's in here, checking you, your wallet. Because all you gotta do is pull the trigger here. How are you gonna get to the gun before I pull my trigger? Here, you can get to the gun. So we're gonna show you this technique, which happens to be very common because a lot of people stick guns in people's guts. Key here is the gun barrel. We're doing this, crisscrossing, this way. As we crisscross, this hand's coming on the wrist, weak part. This hand's coming on the barrel of the gun down. As we come on the wrist and come down, we're bending. So at the point of the trigger being pulled, normally he should be about here. Okay? If we're quick, okay, right here. Notice, the gun's facing up now. If I'm real quick and the barrel of the gun's a long barrel, especially if it's short barrel, very tough to get the gun in your and grab it in your hand. But you will end up like I just ended up. Normally with him with a lock, have no control of the gun. If you've got a decent barrel on the gun, or you have a good grip, you'll normally end up coming across, taking the gun away, and locking in here. So the technique looks like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have a lock in here. Feel the arm, George? Now I just take this and throw the man. If I have any trouble, he's too strong, turn. So what you want to do again, man puts the gun in the stomach, we try not to bring our hands up too high. If he says keep them up high, then your chances are going to be slimmer. Bring him here, please, don't hurt me. I don't, okay, we're playing possum here. We don't want this man to hurt us. But from this position here, now I watch on my elbow, I normally bend a little bit the other way so I don't hurt the man. On the street, you turn it this way. Okay, you can also have a strike in here. Strike to the kneecap, strike to the face. And normally what we want to do is just break the arm. So slow, one more time. 1, 2. So it looks 1, 2. I get my body moving at the same time. So I'm turning. Here, I'm rolling. See the lock? So one more time, slow. 1, 2, 3. Now fast. In here. Now, throw the guy. Now he's mine. Hope you enjoyed that technique. It's a technique I don't want to see you doing unless you know that the man is not paying attention to what he's doing. He's just threatening you. Guns I don't advise playing with because they're very dangerous on the street. Too many people carry them these days. A couple things I want to stress is, again, right foot back. Is people, whenever you're in a street situation, a man attacks you with a knife, a punch, a weapon, try never. I always teach my students the roll-off principle, Sugiyashi principle. Whether he comes in straight, we'll demonstrate off a straight punch just to give you an idea where to move. As he comes in here, so the target area is here. So if I come in from this position here, I'm in here, bam! I can move. I'm in this position here, in here. Which is, these are a couple, again, techniques. These techniques, like that one there, is one of my favorite techniques, but it is an Ninjuka Jujitsu kata, which you can see in the Ninjuka Jujitsu tapes. Purchase the Jujitsu tapes, not that I'm telling you to buy the tapes, but you will learn a lot of these techniques in a kata formation so you can learn them, understand them, and then eventually be able to work them and vary them to the point where they become proficient. From here, though, that technique here, all it is getting out of the way. Notice I'm 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 getting out of the way. I don't want to step too far away, only unless I have to. If I have to, understand one thing, people. I always try to maintain control. Sticky fingers. So I can come in here, come in here. Understand? Or, bam, break in here. But the closer you are, the better. Especially when you're inside a man. 1, 2, 3. So if I'm inside a man here, as he punches here, 1, 2, 3. Now I have anything I need here. To get rid of the man, just throw him away. So, again, the concept I'm trying to teach you here, everything is in close. Just about everything I taught you today are techniques that deal with close range motion. In close, in tight. And hang on to the man, control the man. This is what we're trying to teach you. Hopefully you benefited from some of the techniques. And once again, on the other tapes, especially the Ninjuka Jujitsu tapes and Yoshizuni Wada tape, you will learn many of these defenses in a kata formation, and you can learn how to adapt them as time goes by. These happen to be some of my favorite techniques. I chose 10, maybe I gave you 14, 15 altogether. But these, I think, are the effective techniques that will work on the street, adapted from the systems that were taught to me and the systems that I teach, my system, Ninjuka Jiu-Jitsu. So if you're interested in learning them, best thing to do is focus on looking at the tape thoroughly, any tape that you come across, and that can be somebody else's tape as well as mine. You want to learn something and they teach you head-to-head, just like they're in a class atmosphere. That's when you learn the techniques. And from there, you normally have to work it with somebody. You cannot just learn by watching a tape. Very important. I know I'm talking a lot and babbling on, but this is something I stress, that you must practice. It's important to practice. A baseball player on his off season doesn't just say, okay, I quit baseball for the off season. He still swings a bat. He still gets out there and catches. You have to. Stay in tune with everything you're doing. The mind controls the body. So the body has to stay in control. The mind has to stay in control with the body. So work together. Very, very important. I can keep on talking. I can go on for hours. But I hope you learned something from my 10 favorite street fighting techniques, although you got a few extra ones in there. And I appreciate you watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Joe Lewis. Welcome to this series on angular attack. What we're going to be working on is showing you how to deal with different types of opponents, working on what we call offensive footwork. In other words, angular attack is a fancy way of referring to what we call offensive footwork. Now today, my two partners working with me are John and Jim Graydon. Both are three-time members of the world champion United States karate team. Now, to begin with, what I'm going to do is show you exactly what I mean by angular attack. Then we're going to go through a few drills, basically concentrating on hand techniques, some kicking techniques, because it's easier to show you the offensive footwork drills when I teach you utilizing hand techniques. John Graydon, can you join me, please? Now,